There we go. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should be number 11. Is she in there? Should be. 10. Yep, there she is. Open leg rocker. Intermediate mat exercise. It's the first one that's new for you guys. So let's read the transition. Who would like to read? Anybody?
Sure.
Okay.
From the spine, stretch forward position, bring your heels toward your seat while ensuring you have space for rocking. Alternatively, shift your hips forward on the mat. 1, bend your knees and place your hands on the back of each calf. 2, tilt slightly back to balance on your sit bones. 3, lift your feet off the mat, maintaining stability.
Okay, so let's stop there. We just came from spine, stretch forward. Now read it again and cue me. What happens first?
So bend your knees and place your hands on the back of each calf. Tilt slightly back to balance on your sit bones.
I'm on my sit bones.
Lift your feet off the mat, maintaining stability.
I'm maintaining stability. Now, for open leg rocker, why couldn't you let them take a few rolling like a ball here and kick out, bend? It's way easier than holding the V, kick out, pull the leg in, push the hand forward, get that contraction of the abs in, right? Okay, keep going, let's keep reading. So, sit at the back of your sit bones, keep the upper back as neutral as possible, extend the legs straight and slightly wider than shoulder width. Underline that guy. How hard is it to extend this leg straight if you are a regular body, even if you're a regular intermediate body? That is why it's hard. That's why we say wider than shoulder width. Someone who's trained up could teaser open leg rocker. Like, you would not need to go wider. You could stay shoulder width, right? We go wider to help offset the destabilizers. You know, does that make sense? Like, it's the same as why we want our feeding straps wide. If I was practiced up, could open leg rocker from a teaser, right? Most people can't. They've got to be wide because it helps. Exactly, and we did that in his class. We did that in Juan's class. We actually held on to our big toes and rocked up and down. And up and down. That's one of the ones I forced myself to do. Kelsey did it perfect. You know, but yes, right? Okay, so keep ankles flexed, arms extended, holding the lower legs. Stabilize the shoulder blades to avoid tension. Let's write down a cue. How would we cue stabilize the shoulder blades?
Slide your scapula down the back.
Slide your scapula down the back. If people don't speak anatomically, pretend that you're holding a golf ball and hug your shoulders around the golf ball or the tennis ball. Still soften the ribs and maintain. Good. Let's look at key cues. Who would like to read that?
I can read it.
Okay.
Key cues. Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Allow your core to control the movement. Engage your abdominals deeply for stability. Focus on massaging the spine as you roll back and forth. Keep the motion smooth, following an imaginary line. Roll through each vertebrae to maintain fluidity. Keep legs active and extended. Maintain an open chest and avoid collapsing forward. Keep your head aligned with your spine. Maintain wide elbows and a light grip on your legs. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, and finish each repetition with a lifted proud chest.
Good. We're not going to go through modifications and variations right now. We do. So, we're going to do open leg rocker.
Get off my rocker.
Get off your rockers. So, let's start with spine stretch forward. I'll cue it, and I'll make sure no one's on this video, so it's just me. All right. So spine stretch forward. Take your feet a little wider than hip distance. Dorsal flex your feet so the toes are picking your nose and the heels are most forward extended, right? You're You're welcome. Place your hands on the mat and push down so you already feel that you have to pull your shoulders back. There's your shoulder scapularization heading into open leg rocker. Wrap your shoulders around the golf ball behind you. Inhale. As you exhale, push your hands down, slide them away, take a C shape of your spine, pull your abs back in opposition, and go all the way out. Equally push down into the mat, inhale. As you exhale, restack your spine as if you were sitting against a cement wall. Lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, and head. From spine stretch forward, I want you to bend your knees, place the soles of the feet on the mat, and take a hold behind your thigh. Lean back onto your sit bones, hover the feet, lower the feet, hover the feet. When you're teaching people, you've got to give them time to get used to, can they lift up without going back? Because a lot of people will lean to lift. If they lean to lift, they ain't ready. You just get them to do this and they don't know that you bypassed it on purpose. Right? You don't teach anything they're not ready for. Hover the feet. Good. Now why don't you just extend the right leg, point it up to the high diagonal, and bend the knee. And extend the left leg, point it up to the high diagonal, and bend the knee. Take the hands to the back of the calves, roll back to roll up. As you roll up, extend the toes to the corners of the rim, bend the knees. Roll back to roll up, and extend, bend. Roll back to roll up, extend, hold, hold, open, 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 hold. Push the hands against the calves, pull the calves into the hands. Now keep that, roll back to roll up. Try not to bend the knees, roll back to roll up. And last one, roll back to roll up, hover. Bend the knees, find your sit bones. Zip the legs together, lower down. Reset the spine. Open leg rocker can be done in modified. Let's say you want to teach a strong intermediate class and open leg rockers just aren't coming. Maybe one or two people gets it, get them into full extension. The rest, rolling like a ball with knees bent and point the toes outwards. Roll back to roll up and kick. It doesn't have to be the high extension. Roll back to roll up, kick. Roll back to roll up, kick, stay.
Did you ever get them to use their toes like as a kickstand?
Totally.
Land and then like test it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Zip, hold, hover. Absolutely.
Cool.
Open leg rocker. I was in a class and it wasn't a labeled class. So I don't know if it was fundamental or intermediate or open. And it was a February morning and it was 8 a.m. and open leg rocker was the second piece of repertoire that was taught after the 100.
Wow.
And so, this is why I have issues with contemporary. Because if someone understood the why open leg rocker comes 11th, and not just understood that it's an exercise or a piece of repertoire, it's just like when teachers don't teach the 100 first. They'll throw it in 8th. We understand the why because we understand the history of Joseph's system. It doesn't mean we're better, don't ever be rude, but when I was in that class, I just didn't do it. First of all, it's February. I have my socks up to my ears. Oh, cold, must be tight. She don't want to roll like a ball first. I want to stay in my ball, right? Now, she cued it excellently. She demoed it like a superstar. The problem with that is, if she demos it perfectly, how does that make the class feel?
Right.
Terrible. Yeah. Especially because it's the second thing you're doing. Because if you can't already do a second thing, like 10 minutes into the class,
What the hell are we doing after
yeah,
this?
what am I prepared for now, right? So, especially because it wasn't labeled. So then, like someone like me who's never done open leg rocker until today, been like, maybe I should leave. Right?
And again, and it's not to throw shade on anyone, we understand spinal shapes. So when I read this, I'm not reading repertoire, I'm not reading exercise, I'm reading shapes. I know what shapes have to come first before open leg rocker. Right? I understand the nuance of it. All right, cool beans. Let's go to double leg kick. It should be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Should be. Actually, put a pen on number 16. Let's just put like a little, oh, that's a single leg kick. Double leg kick is 17, pardon me. Just put like a little pen there. For open leg rocker, let's actually do the modifications now. Remember, a modifier makes it easier. A variant is just razzle dazzle. So how we modified, let's write down what we modified under open leg rocker. You could do alternate toe taps. You could stay knees bent in tabletop. You could add rolling like a ball into extension. So write down those modifiers, because those are all modifiers. So in your classical training, if you take classical, we talk about the history of why Joe wrote the system the way he did, why we warm up certain spinal shapes before others, and what the climactic experience is. Why do we end how we end? And so what they're learning is, now that we're getting into harder repertoire, intermediate, why did it get placed number 11? Why? Why is it not 9? Why is it not 13? They need to be smart enough to know that. And I need to be good enough to instill that in them with the history and the anatomy and the spinal shapes. So they're above industry standard. So they can go to New York and teach if they want to. Right? Or Vancouver.
Yes.
Because Vancouver, and I don't want to poo-poo on Toronto, Toronto's got great, but Toronto is kind of like, not Vancouver. You want to go into the studio in Vancouver, you walk proud because you know you're well trained. No imposter syndrome, right? Okay. Or you just come to Sweden. I'll open a studio for all of you. That's it. Now, what's a variation? Let's just talk about what could a variation be? So a variation would come when they fully can open leg rocker. So let's say I'm really good and you love me in your class, you're like, Shones, you got it. Oh, I didn't got it. What's a variation?
Could you hold on to like one leg?
One leg,
keep
absolutely. That'll prepare them for boomerang, which is in contrology. Woo!
You could keep that
Right? Yeah. And then you could scissor kick switch. Right?
Yeah.
Boomerang it. What else could you do? Well, the variant was straight-legged, right? Roll back. Right? You could do straight leg. Another variant could be, instead of taking a wide V, shoulder width. And you can add some razzle-dazzle. Like you can roll back, roll up, tap 3, 2, 1, right? Like you could do heel beats. You could do whatever, right? When you're balanced here, you could get them to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Balance, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll back, 4, 3, 2, up, and tap, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, it's a variation.
Okay.
But that has to come after the control. Like, I'm out of breath. Here, I'll sweaty up on this pink mat. All right.
Would you be asked that on an exam, like
Yes.
to show a variation?
On their oral exam, not on their classical. The classical has to be clean. But yes, on their oral exam. What is the benefit of open leg rocker? What shape are we coming from? We're coming from ab series into a capital letter C shape. What is open leg rocker preparing us for? Look below.
Well, it's getting us to move our low abs in a tucked position.
And that's getting us ready for,
the corkscrew.
yeah, corkscrew or jackknife
Or
later.
jackknife.
Yeah. Right? And we'll learn it hopefully this week in boomerang, which is contrology, which is a hybrid of all of it. So benefits, it's that lower ab, your primary powerhouse, It is your pelvic tilt, and it is stabilizing the lower lumbar. How can anyone get their legs over their head if their lower lumbar isn't stable? It's rude to ask. It's rude, it's just rude, don't ask them. Don't do it. What is the focus in open leg rocker? Is it the straight legs? No. Now that's beautiful if they can extend, pretend that was my leg, extend. Guess where that comes from? Their 100. Couldn't that be a variation? Press your toes into the Save the World button in the corner of the room, pull the abs back in opposition. It is an extension of the 100. So if you understand that, it's just the 100 elevated. What is the focus? Opposition. The legs are in opposition of the abs tucking. Your focus is opposition. Pretty neat, huh? And you see how, I mean, you guys are too young, but we're roughly the same age. Did you ever grow up with this like plastic circular thing and you had to put shapes into it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's this. That's the manual they've written. Which shape fits where, why. And you can see some of those shapes. Actually, I should buy one for the next training. Sometimes you could put it in the wrong shape because they layered. And that's neat. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna find a video and send it in an email. It was a kid's toy for apps, and it was this circular thing, and you dumped shapes into it. So you would pick up the triangle, and you would find where the triangle fit into the
You like
triangle.
pull it open to like dump all this.
Yeah.
That is the manual I've written, at least in my head.
So when we say opposition,
Opposition is one thing pulling one way, the other thing pulling the other. So you've got your legs in opposition of the abs pulling back. The legs are reaching this way, the abs are pulling that way.
Right.
That's opposition.
Question.
Yeah.
When you're coming up on it, are you trying to come out of, like, hold and come out of the C shape and then kind of like go back into it, or you're trying to stay in the C shape?
Nope, and proud chest, and that's why you end with a proud chest. Dun, dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
that's kind of your teaser too, right? Is like coming.
And guess what in reformer that is? Round back to straight back, a short box series.
Okay.
Shapes.
It kind of reminds me when we had the dowel that night.
Yeah.
And you were saying like in that crease between
Yes.
the wall and the ceiling, and you were saying like push to that crease,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
your abs go like the opposite way, and so you were like getting that, like this,
Yeah.
which I still feel.
Right? All right. So now that is your first one. Let's take a look at double leg kick, and we're going to stop there to start teaching these two. Double leg kick, I'll demo it first because there's a few different ways, and then we'll read it, and then we'll do it. Okay. See my bedroom. It's like, hold on, this just looks like my floor looked like last night. Except I transferred it all here. So, in single leg kick, it's kick, kick, lift, and point. Kick, kick, lift, and point. Or kick, kick, point, kick, point. Okay? In double, one cheek goes on the floor. In the beginning, you teach them interlace the fingers at the small of the back or your tailbone. Kick both heels 3 times. Kick, kick, kick. Slide the hands to touch the heels. When they touch, turn the body. Lift high for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Turn, land on your right cheek. When the cheek is down, bring everything in. We kick, 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 lift and fly. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, turn. Okay? That's how you teach it first. Hands slide to the heels. Also, when they're kicking, like I was doing pretty weak kicks, I can feel my joggers when I do that. You want to try and get them to get their heels to their bum. So the first time, get your heels right on your sit bones. Push them down, right? When you advance, true classical, there's no interlaced fingers, palm over palm. as high up as you can slide. You kick, 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 interlace the thumbs if you want, slide the hands off. 5, 4, 3, see how I keep up and come apart. 2, 1, high up the back, kick, kick, kick. Right? Now, it's not wrong to teach them with interlaced fingers. It gives them the extension, the length. They've got something to like actually hold on to. You can see how my hands came apart. It's real hard for people to keep palm over palm when they're flying. But that's true classical. Palm over palm slides. Same within the roll up, true classical. But that's real hard for most people. Keep the head, Joey. There she is, right? It's hard. So now let's read it. Double leg kick. They're getting a sweaty version today, I'll tell you. Shorts tomorrow. I don't see any pants. All right. Oh, beautiful. We'll shut the windows tomorrow maybe, but I like the birdies. All right. Transition. Remain on the mat after completing single leg kick. Starting position, who would like to read? Anybody?
Lie on your stomach with a neutral pelvis and spine. Rest one cheek on the mat with hands stacked on the lower back. Keep elbows close to the body. Legs remain extended together and parallel with ankles pointed.
Okay, stop there. Circle, hands stacked. Make a little line. You can say, start with interlaced fingers. It's easier. However, if Austin brings a bunch of his dance friends to Cassandra's class,
Don't.
oh yeah, do, and do, I said to the camera, and Cassandra knows they're capable. They don't need to interlace their fingers. You challenge the heck out of them. First, you give them 2 reps, make sure they're controlled, and then if you have someone that's capable, I would never ask Kelsey or Steph to interlace their fingers. It would almost be rude, right? You know, I know, take you back there. But a regular person, this is so hard. So just make a note of that. All right, Dana, can you keep reading about the movement?
Yep.
Okay.
Exhale, bend both knees and kick heels toward the glutes for 3 pulses. Inhale, extend the legs straight, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Simultaneously stretch the arms behind, interlacing fingers or placing palms together. Lift the chest as the shoulders roll back, opening the upper spine.
Okay, stop right there. Tops of the feet into the mat. This is what it means, but it's what we would call pre-Pilates. I didn't teach it to you, but I wrote it because not everyone can fly high. Tops of the feet, press into the mat, and they fly this way. That's easier for people to get up. It's so hard because this turns into swan and rocking, right? Which is contrology. So I taught you as if, you know, you're already intermediate, but just make a note of that. Anyway, I'll catch that nuance on the next manual. Keep going.
Exhale, lower the torso, bend the elbows, and return to the starting position with the opposite cheek resting on the mat. Repeat the sequence, perform 5 to 10 sets, alternating sides.
Good. Cues for proper form. Engage the core, maintain hip stability. Keep the knees close as they bend. Lengthen through the front, circle front of the body as the legs extend. Open the chest by broadening the collarbones. Press the legs firmly into the mat for stability. Keep palms facing up while the hands rest on the back. Ensure shoulders remain relaxed away from the ears. How could we modify this one?
Could we have them, instead of extending their legs, just keep them bent and then they just lift their upper body?
So let me try. Okay, so they're here, kick, kick, kick.
Keep the legs and then
Yeah.
extend. Just so
Totally.
that they get that.
Yeah, totally. So write it down. Good work. What's another way we could break this guy down?
We could do it in like opposition, so you would kick, 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 and then just lift the leg.
Sure.
And then you
Okay.
could kick, 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 and then just lift the chest.
Kick, kick, lift the legs,
Yes.
or kick, 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 just lift the chest. Good, write it down. One of the biggest modifiers for this one would not be to have the hands on the back. It would be kick, 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 push the feet down, push the hands, fly. Look. Another big modifier would be not, sorry my glasses are in the way, not to turn the head. Think about what's happening in my spine as I turn my head. I should be triggering my obliques. I should be. If someone doesn't have activated internal obliques, which, I mean, it's a big ask for them to even feel it, the head can be down, right? Kick, 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 lift and fly, 4, 5, head stays down, right? Or you don't turn the cheeks, you're just looking down. And that mimics swimming, which they already have in fundamentals. Whenever you're gonna modify, it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you're like, oh, I'm bringing them back to this shape to build them up to that shape. So what could a variation be? How could we razzle dazzle that guy? Well, you count them out longer, right? So a lot of teachers, they'll just go for flow. Kick, 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 lift, hold, turn. Kick, 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 lift, hold, turn. I don't. I say hold for 5, higher 4, higher 3, higher 2, higher 1, hold for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, take a swim. 4, 3, 2, 1, start to rock like you can.
You can really
And that could just be one variation. No one's coming to my classes. No one's paying me the $100 yet. But any variation, as long as it stays within the shape, right?
So you wouldn't want to take them into something like bow pose in yoga, where you're like grabbing the ankles and then lifting.
Well, you could if you're trying to get them to focus on the extension out of their hip. It wouldn't be wrong.
But
Why not?
Could it still be a variation?
Yeah.
Of classical.
Well, if we're throwing yoga in, technically no, but like in the real world, who cares?
also no one knows.
Right?
Well, yeah. True.
Also, if you like, also no one knows. Like in
No.
class, like if you like say if you're in the 100, they're not counting 100, right?
Yeah.
No, they're just like,
They're just
stop
doing
this.
it. They're getting through it, right?
for the
Like,
teacher to
Get through.
and like if you make a mistake, I
Right.
make tons of mistakes, and your class doesn't notice.
Listen to this, and I'll deviate for 2 seconds because it's an excellent question. So on Wednesday, this New York City guy, he didn't start us in the 100. You know what he started us with? I loved it. I freaking loved it. He put us into an ab curl, crunches. I'm like, what's happening? I thought he was classical New York. Keep your ab curl. And he said, heels together, toes apart. Give me frog. Then he said arches, as if you're on the foot bar. Then he said heels. And then he said tendon stretch, lower the heels. He put us through footwork in an ab curl. Then he said, hold the low 45, float the hands around, begin to pump at your 100. And I said to Kelsey after, I've never seen footwork in that work. I've done frog, I've done like other things like leg circles, like legs and straps. I've never seen footwork. Was he wrong? No, but it kept, I was like, where are we going? Where are we going? What's happening? Good way to warm up.
What did Kelsey think of that?
She didn't say much.
She didn't say much.
No. She was just like, oh yeah. I mean, I could ask her about it, you know. So, what are the benefits? Why would we go from single leg to double leg? Why wouldn't we do double leg first? You guys got single leg in foundational. Isn't it easier to do things together?
Not always,
Why?
because one side of your body can always kick more. You're always leaning more on one side, and then when you're doing one leg at a time, you're more focused on that side of your body. So like doing both at once, you really have to make sure like your box is pressed into the floor, and that's hard to do. Even just doing that is an exercise in itself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, also after single leg kick, you're a little more open in like the front of the hips.
Yeah.
It's easier to do the 2 legs after.
Yep, and in single leg kick, most people get closer heel to thumb. In double leg kick, they always lose some space. And what piece of repertoire on the reformer do we do to help with that? When you're in prone position, lying on your belly, and the heels are kicking towards your bum.
Oh,
Inhale, exhale, hug and hold. What's it called?
the hamstring.
It's the
Yeah.
hamstring curl.
Then you gotta get up with the straps and the feet, and then
It's hamstring curl.
I've never been on one, so I don't know.
I know, because I
Yeah.
canceled ours.
Yeah.
We're gonna book.
I know the ones.
I know.
I know all your faces are like,
No, I was supposed to give her a private Tuesday, but I canceled my Tuesday, my sick Tuesday. But that's it. So see how the reformer was therapeutic to bring it back to.
It's like a cyclical thing.
It's so cyclical. All right, so the benefit? It's called leg kick. What is the benefit? Don't say hamstring, don't say knee. What is the benefit? It lengthens the legs. It's a leg lengthener.
Could you say that it lengthens the front of the body?
Yes, yes.
It
That's the
strengthens
primary.
the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
What should the focus be? What do you think?
like the length and the opposition of that. Like,
Right. If it's called a double leg kick, the focus should be the legs. So if you're going to start to cue, reach the arms further, reach the arms further, their legs already better be perfect. Now, we steer away from the word perfect, you know what I mean. Their legs already are activated. They already have the length of legs because it's a leg lengthener. And sometimes, when they're doing it, kick, 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 I'll come behind and just grab their little toes and pull back a little.
yeah, you did that to me when you were videoing when Liv was videoing.
I love to grab
My
toes.
face was like, oh.
I love toe grabber. Because then you just feel that extra millimeter of length. I try not to crack toes.
So great.
For toe grab. Right? So, those are your first two. I want you to pair up, read your manuals, and teach each other. Okay? You two. Yeah?
yes.
Okay.
What are you doing?